Did she ask you that question? Oh, she asked.
Oh, we are live.
Oh, hey. Hey guys, how you guys doing? It's your girl Maya G with
Victor Jr., your brother with an open heart.
and today in spiritual agility, we are discussing disgusted relationships.
We're discussing disgusting relationships.
Yes. Oh my God. I had to get it out. Just had to get it out. Right. Okay. So, Victor, there's different types of relationships, right? So you have relationships, right? So with relations, that means connecting. I didn't get to look it up, but let's talk about relations, right? You have relations with friends, you have relations with colleagues, coworkers, business partners, neighbors. Well, not that kind of relations. But and lastly, but not exclusively, lovers. Now, at this point in life, I'm sure you had a couple of relationships. Oh my God. So, Victor, I mean, I've had my share of relationships, and to be honest with you, I don't feel like I actually got into a real relationship until later on in life. I think in my 20s, I was just kind of kicking the ball around.
Oh, okay. No, I've gotten into serious relationships when I was very, very young.
No, they were serious. I wasn't.
You weren't. Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. So, I think that a lot of people, kind of, especially in gay relationships, it's a little different, I think, because you'll meet somebody on Monday, and if you talk to them every day, by Friday, they're your boyfriend or girlfriend.
You're married, you're already moving in, sharing dogs, cats.
All that. And I'm really trying to understand, because I move like a turtle. I would literally be dating, and I call it dating, for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And people are like, oh, you're not taking me seriously. You want to talk to other people. And I'm like, no, I like to take my time. Where you at with that?
I think it's best. I used to just jump into a relationship. I mean, you show me that love and I'd be like, oh yeah. And I've had my fair share to where, I didn't take relationships serious. I've been cheated on. I've done cheating.
What do you think caused cheating?
I think caused cheating because I wasn't in love with myself.
Hey, that part. Yeah.
Now that I love myself, or how much I realize I love myself, I could see, especially within my last relationship, that when you love yourself that much, you don't really go off and look for somebody else.
You sure don't. When you do love yourself, you don't look to interrupt your peace. Like for me, at this point, I used to be chasing that white dragon. And I realized that sometimes relationship goes through its own temperature to where things could get a little cool, and then a little cold. And then, you work on it, you water it, and then it ramps back up into that hot zone. But with me, it's like I wanted it hot all the time. And if it wasn't, I would add additional components just to keep that heat going. And definitely was, a lack of self-esteem, self-respect, that was causing that.
Do you feel like you were searching for like that love, or do you just felt like at that time you didn't get it here, so you're going over here to try to look for it?
I think if we really had to go deep in with it, lovers' relationship can sometime not be fruitful because the relationship we have with our parents was not fruitful. So therefore, a lot of unsolved, unresolved, unhealed things are interrupting this lover relationship you're trying to, because a lot of people are trying to turn their lover into their best friend, their mom, their dad, and all of the above. And sometimes that's just too much for a relationship. So for me, I was keeping myself distracted so I would never have to give anybody 100% of me.
I think especially within our gay community, a lot of, from what I've noticed through experience, is everybody's trying to see what they can get out of the relationship instead of seeing what they can put in.
Yes.
And I've heard plenty of people throughout my life say, well, it's always 50-50, it's always 50-50. I don't believe in that. If you're doing 100 for yourself and they're doing 100 for themselves,
it's 100 together. It's all 100.
It's working. It should always be 100, not 50-50.
Yeah, and then if you know good math, it's gonna be 100. 50% is not enough for anything. It's just not. Because and something that I got from my dad a long time ago as a little girl. Well, damn, it wasn't that long ago. It was long enough. Okay. I got that from my dad, and what he said to me, he said, in relationship, you're gonna either be the one that loves the most, or you're gonna be loved the most. So somebody else gonna love you more. Either way, if somebody is loving you more than you are loving them, you're still responsible to take care of them, because there's a lot of karma that goes into hurting people. And I would stay in relationships because the other person loved me, even though I didn't feel the same, just because I didn't want to break their heart. And sometimes some relationship you can be in a relationship that has long ended. It's overstayed its time, where you were supposed to just learn a lesson and just keep it moving. So today's discussion, I really wanted to cover that. When is it the right relationship for you, and when is the right time to get out?
You got to get out once somebody shows you who they really are the first time. You've heard that. Believe them, because they could screw up, and we've all screwed up. I screwed up, but they could say, I'm going to change. I'm going to change. Well, I'm not looking to change you. You should grow and evolve and change on your own. Don't change for me. Change for yourself. Do what's right for you. And I think if people change their mind frame of, again, trying to see what they can get out of that relationship, and turn it around and say, okay, what can I put into this? Because I'm going to put everything in that I put in for myself. And if it's not right, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You have to let it go, because a lot of people don't want to let go of that. They want to hold on to that security because they can't let go of their own insecurities.
Yeah, that's very true. And that let go thing, it's kind of like it's very blurry, and can be also very confusing, because like I said earlier, relationship, you're gonna be in a lot of different relationships with your partner, the same partner, throughout your lifetime. If you find yourself a life partner, you guys are going to go through changes with each other. So there's going to be a compilation of different relationships. So for me, when I think about relationship, I always think about to be with somebody who understands my growth, who understands the evolution I need to go through. And sometimes it's going to be inconvenient for them, and their growth is going to be inconvenient for me. I think that we've come into a culture where people don't know what longevity means. We are very quick to throw in the towel. So having said all of that, how do you know the difference between when it's time to let somebody go or actually hang in there with them? Is when you see them working on themselves. Somebody who's willing to work on themselves, chances are they will work on the relationship. They may not work as fast as you want them to, but they're gonna make it happen. But another person that's making promises, and you're looking at their own life, and you don't see any changes happening, they complain about the weight, they're still fat. They complain about the job, they're still there. They complain about the friend, they still break bread with them. They complain about this and that, and there's no change happening. That person is not a good suitor.
And, I'm going to be very transparent. I just left a relationship. I've been going through a really tough time with my ex relationship since November of 2019. I went back, tried to compromise, work things out. Things didn't change. I said I was going to leave. I didn't leave. Things didn't change. 6 months later, I finally said, you know what? I'm done. I love myself too much to go through this in my life. I love myself too much to waste my time, because it was a waste of time for myself. Even though I tried to pull it together, I still wasted my time because it wasn't coming from that other end. And so I packed up my car, drove all the way to South Florida. And after I had left, the thing was, oh, I'll change. And I asked one thing. I said, why didn't you change when I was there? Why didn't you change when you had all these opportunities? I was told, because you always come back.
So you lose value when you go back. So I'm not saying that because I do believe that people go through change and transformation. And the reason I could say that is because I've gone through some things. I've changed a lot about myself. If somebody was with me 5 years ago, I promise you, it's not the same Maya that's here with you today. Because we're spiritual creatures having a human experience, we're supposed to learn, we're supposed to grow, we're supposed to evolve. Now, some people try not to do the work. Instead of using single for healing, they use single for hoeing. So there's no real change. There's no evolution happening. They're not changing. And to me, it's like hurt people. So if you're not putting in the work on yourself, why would you be granted access to good people that's healed, that's used their single time to heal? So when I look at relationships, the way I know if somebody's a good fit or not is the growth that they're putting in themselves.
That's right.
And even if we break up, let's say we take a break, we go our separate way, I should be able to look at you visually the way I was able to look at our last guest and say, hey, something about you changed. People cannot lie about change. Two things people cannot lie about. They cannot lie about the work they're putting in, and they cannot lie about change. Because when you look at somebody, you should be able to know, yeah, this person is changing. This is not the partner I got with. And it could be going left or going right. It could be good or bad. So as far as, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time, that is definitely accurate. But at the same time, you also want to listen, pay attention.
Communication.
Yes, and communication. Very, very, very important. Because like I said, we're all humans and we're going through this experience.
Yeah, we all screw up. Like right now, there's plenty of apps out there. There's stuff, and everybody's on those just to hook up. I've been on those apps.
I know you always talking about some apps.
And
the hookup apps.
It's networking.
Right. We are network. We are collecting and networking. Yes, that part.
So but it's. Are you really going to find somebody connecting through social media? Yeah, it's possible. But if you really don't know who they are and what they represent or who they're about, then, you got to meet people, and you can't just jump into somebody. How could you just meet somebody and just jump into a relationship and you don't know who they are, what they're about? You have to take your time, move like a turtle,
I am a turtle. Okay.
A lot of us in the gay world are like rabbits.
What do rabbits do?
They're always breeding.
Oh no. Not me. Because I believe that your body is a temple. I don't care whether you are gay, straight, bi, whatever. Your body is a temple, and the people that you decide to get intimate with, they do affect your overall, not just your health, but overall your energy, your vibrational energy, and your health, your spiritual health. So for me, I've always been picky about that. Now, back in my 20s now, I was not that person. But now, oh yes. Yeah, I was using relationship for hoeing and single for hoeing. It didn't matter. I was just doing me, just enjoying life. And I was that. And if you're a part of my past, I sincerely apologize. God has put his hand on my life, and I'm a completely different person now.
I apologize too if you're a part of my past.
Yes. So having said all that, guys, that's our wrap for today on relationships. Comment, share, subscribe if you're not already following us. Give us some feedback. And if you want to be part of this show, send us a message. The email that we're using is going to be info@spiritualagility.com. Oh, excuse me. Let me repeat that. If you want to be a guest or part of the show, send us an email at info@spiritualagilitypodcast.com. What's up?
It's not over yet.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Because it just dawned on me. There's a lot of, and especially in the gay world, people who like to do threesomes. Now, I believe now that I'm older, it's the sex and love is a spiritual connection.
For sure.
And when you bring another person in, how do you feel about that? Because I know that you're bringing in their energy. You shouldn't have to do that, or because I don't want to offend anybody, but if you get offended, then oh well. But no. But it's now that I'm older and I've grown more and I've grown spiritually. I only want to share myself with that one special somebody. I don't want to be inviting other people, because to me it's like when I did that before, it was because I wasn't satisfied in the relationship that I was in, or I wasn't confident about myself. So what do you feel? I want to get your take on that.
All right. My take on threesomes. Now,
I'm not gonna get you in trouble.
oh my God. No, not at all. When I was younger, I thought that it was actually a fantasy, something that I wanted to do. And then I got into a relationship, and my partner saw this girl, and she was like, oh yeah, we could do it, blase, blase, whatever. So, we tried, invited the individual, we went out of country, and, I got a house, got everything. I got our own private pool, jacuzzi, like the whole bit, right? Because I'm like, yeah, I really want to do this. And for the first time in like 3 years of being with this person, I saw them get jealous. Never, not one time was it ever a problem. Now, the individual that we brought was expecting something to happen. And, at night we ended up locking our own room. And we lock our own room, and it didn't happen. And that night, something interesting happened. I kind of came to realizing that your partner will say anything to make you happy, or sometimes even do anything to make you happy. And when I tell you, this individual had no reason to be insecure, none, zero, zilch, nada. But that day they were very, very insecure. But see, we're talking about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. The Maya now would have recognized it, but the Maya then was completely blinded. Couldn't even fathom on why they would have had an issue with it. Like, I didn't understand. Like, you said, let's do this, da da da. So if I had to say anything about that now is, understand the components of your partner. Also understand on the purpose your partner is serving in your life, because some partners are life partners and some partners are temp partners. If you have a life partner, you don't want to taint that relationship by adding anybody extra. Yeah. It's hard enough for you to try to preserve the energy that you guys are exchanging. Let alone bring an additional person to interrupt your relationship. Yeah. So for me, that's a no. I wouldn't do it. Now, not to say I'm going to sit down and watch people do stuff, but I'm just not going to be in it. I'm not going to be involved because I really want to protect the virginity of my relationship. Right. I don't want to offend my partner when it comes to those things. So no, I wouldn't do that.
And what about like people who are into the polar?
Oh, polyamorous? Polyamorous?
Yeah.
I recently did an interview with a polyamorous person. And to be honest with you, I think that, to be clearly honest, and if you're offended by this, guys, my sincere apologies, but I'm gonna call it like I see it, period. We are spiritual beings having a human experience first. That's first and foremost. You don't have to agree with it. Facts are facts. We can't change that. So having said that, I believe that polyamorous people that are interested in having multiple lovers are trying to attend to some empty aspect of themselves. Once relationships start dulling out, they add an additional person to kind of revive whatever it is that they had going on. Instead of doing what heterosexual people or homosexual people do, when it's over, we move on. Polyamorous don't do that. They just keep adding members to the group. And before you know it, you have 6, 7 partners. So to me, it's just too much. It is not spiritually healthy to be dealing with so many spirits. And when I say spirits, I'm not saying it like in a ghostly type of matter. I'm talking about on a spirituality level, energies. It's not healthy. It's lack of spiritual hygiene to have so much energy from different individuals.
Is that different from polygamy? Because I've seen people in relationships with polygamy, and they do really, really well. I mean, they got loving relationships. I've seen it. I've witnessed that. But when I've heard a couple people of the polyamorous, mm-hmm. And I feel like it is a lack of something. They keep trying to add without taking away, mm-hmm. because they're missing something.
I believe that.
And that's the thing. It's like, what are you missing? you're trying to look somewhere else for it. Why don't you go within? Like, I mean, this is just me thinking.
No, a lot of times, you know, the truth is within. You know, you have to go within and find what the issue is and deal with it. And a lot of people don't want to face the man or woman in the mirror. It is what it is, you know. But for me, you know, am I capable of loving two people equally? Of course I am. Because I love humans. I love people. You know, could I be sexually involved with two people? Of course I can be. Because again, I love people. But do I respect my spirit and its journey? I respect that above all.
Right.
And do I respect how I make somebody else feel by entertaining or being involved with somebody else, even if their mouth said they were okay, but their heart doesn't say they're okay. And they're just because they want to be with me, they probably would be willing to make the sacrifice. That's just something that I'm not willing to do. You know, I'm not judging anybody who does it. I'm just saying that it's not spiritually possible to be so involved with so many beings and still be spiritually healthy.
Yeah, no, because you're dealing with a lot of different energies. Shit, just one person is just
You already have
to
it.
deal with
Yeah.
myself. You know? And we all deal with our own life cards and shit that comes at us just by life itself, just to deal with more people. And I don't know, because I haven't studied it, I don't know a lot about it. The only thing is from what I've heard, and I just know that it's not for me. So that being said, on that part, I wonder sometimes if it's a portion of control. Like you're controlling all these people, or because I know control can happen with just a one-on-one relationship.
So I mean, looking at it, it looks as if it's a pyramid and somebody's at the top.
Mhm.
You know, some women, you know, they like to be desired by a man who has other options. They love that. You know, I think that's more like an African culture thing. I don't know anything about polygamy being from any other countries, but it probably is. But again, because it's not a lifestyle that I care for, I haven't really done much, you know, research on it. But I know that a lot of the African tribes, the men have many wives. It goes back to having variety. You know, you get tired of Jane, you go after Mary. You get tired of Mary, you know, you'll check out Vanessa. Vanessa seemed boring today because she's on the rag. You know, you'll talk to Jessica. So to me, it's like, yeah, the variety is amazing, but is it helping the collective? Is it moving us forward? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be, you know, like people say, well, how come, you know, the planet is 20,000 years old and we've only made a move within the past 200 years? Well, because the collective had to get smart. So if the relationship is not moving the collective forward, I don't see the point.
Yeah. What about the people who are like, there's guys who are in relationships with women. Is that the same thing as polyamorous, where they go and they see a man, even though they're married to a woman, or a woman who's married to a man, then they go and see another woman?
No, they're bisexual.
That's just, they're bisexual, or
Yeah.
just confused?
No, they're bisexual.
Bisexual.
Yeah, that's bisexual.
That's kind of taken away from somebody, though. Like, personally, I feel like they're taken away from. If you're married, and I understand that there's a whole bunch of reasons why they feel like they don't want to have that open lifestyle because of religion, family, whatever it is, but they're holding back their partner from actually truly being loved by somebody.
You know, to go back to, like I said earlier, you know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. If your partner is sharing their time with somebody else, you know.
Do you think they know?
Of course, you know. You know, and if you don't know, then you don't have the spiritual intelligence that's needed. You're already not connected to that partner. Because let me tell you something. I'll tell you right now. You know, if somebody flirts with me, my phone gets a text. What kind of connection is that? That's a real connection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you are connected with your partner, they are on point. They know what's going on with you. They know if you're working or if you're lying. They just know. You know, so it's wrong. It is definitely wrong to do that. But again, I tell everybody, you know, nothing lasts forever. And sometimes the partner that we have are just supposed to get us to another level of ourselves. But while you're on that level with that particular person, respect them
Yep. And yourself.
and yourself.
Because if you're not going to respect yourself, you're not going to respect anybody else. If you're not going to love yourself, you're not going to love anybody else. And you're going to stay stuck in a situation or in a relationship that you don't belong into. And you're going to put up with their tolerations, not only theirs, but your own. And it's all about loving yourself. And if you feel like you don't love yourself right now, find yourself, look at yourself in the mirror. And if you can't say, I love you with all my heart, then you're not in love with yourself. And therefore, how could you be in love with anybody else? You have to love yourself first, above all.
Yes. And on that note, we are exiting. Remember, guys, this has been Spiritual Agility with your girl, Maya G.
And your boy, your brother with an open heart, Victor Jr.
Yes. And if you guys want to be part of this show, want to drop some gems along with us, you can send us an email, info@spiritualagilitypodcast.com. We look forward to talking to you guys. Until next time, stay well, and we love you.
Bye.
So I guess your edit, though.